And right now, I would say there are some parallels, but we haven't yet seen a theory of the case brought by the government yet. I have not read, nor have I seen anybody say, hey, here's what we're going to be targeting in regard to any of these companies. It's been this vague conversation about online ads. It's been about privacy. It's been about free speech. You guys talked a little bit about it in your last segment. And your guests were right. You can't just come in and break up a company without a very sound legal theory. And even with a legal theory, like they had in Microsoft, it's extremely hard to do.
Yeah.
So I think that the two, maybe there will be parallels. Maybe they'll come together, and we'll see that they're similar. But right now, I think we have a ways to go on that front.
So in the Microsoft case, it was a charge that anyone could get their head around. It said they used their dominance in desktop operating system to gain market share in browser. And we all remember why that happened. You bought the computer, it had Windows on it, you used Internet Explorer, there wasn't a chance for someone else to get in there. Does that, if anybody, sound analogous, for example, to Apple and the App Store to you? Or what piece of that do you think points to how today could be pursued?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Apple and the App Store, there have been some antitrust challenges on that are sort of working their way through the courts, not brought by the government, but by private parties. Other sort of legal scholars have talked about Amazon, and Amazon, because it's so dominant in online retail, it can then sort of move its own products much more easily because of that dominant position. With Google and with Facebook, it's a little bit harder to draw those direct analogies. But I do think there are rough analogies to be drawn with Apple and Amazon. We just have to see where this all plays out. I think this is just a lot of reading of the tea leaves at this point, and we're going to have to wait to see how this firms up.
And in Microsoft's case, was there a consumer outcry, Ashby, that led to all of this? Because with big tech today, there's a lot of angst about these companies, but people also use their products and enjoy using their products, especially for free, which many of them are. What did we see back then?
Yeah, you know, I do think there were some similarities in that at the time you had Microsoft. It was really the dominant player on desktop operating systems, and it was Windows. Everybody had to use Windows. And if you remember back at the time, everybody had complaints about Windows. And I think that when they started introducing their Internet browser, when the Internet, you know, frankly, was only about 3 years old, at least 3 years old, for you and me and others that were using it, people were a little resentful. Hey, this guy, why do we have to use their browser, et cetera? So there was some resentment about Microsoft being too big and being a little bit of a bully, but it really doesn't reach the level that we have today, where people are just throwing, you know, everything in the world at these companies. With Microsoft, I think that it was a much more sort of a limited set of attacks.
Yeah, you're right. It was